Other than death, all failure is psychological. Other than death, all failure is psychological. Think about that. This failure, this upset, this catastrophe, if you aren't dead, then it's just psychological.
Every time I failed, I moved closer to the goal. You see, if you knew how to do it now, you'd be going sideways. When you're going after a goal, you're going ahead. And because you're going where you've never been, you're going to make mistakes. You don't know it all. You have perfection within you, and the objective of life is to bring that perfection to the surface.
You can find joy in work if you decide to do it. On one hand, if your dream causes you so much pain, then you will quit what you're doing and do it. And if it doesn't cause you enough pain that you're not pursuing it, or that you don't, like if you don't feel like you're in a cage right now, then maybe you're not in a cage. And maybe you just need to like the life you have.
Never listen to anybody who hasn't done what the fuck you want to do. You guys mess yourselves up because you go out and you ask everybody who's never been there, who's never created anything, who's never built anything, and you ask them what they think. What the fuck do you think they're gonna say? They have no idea. That's like asking someone the best place to eat in China that's never been to fucking China, bro. If they don't live the life that you want to live, don't listen to what they have to say.
This does not mean that you won't lose some battles, because you will. We all will. But it does mean that as long as you don't surrender, as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't quit, then you haven't failed.
But you're always going to get resistance in your life. There's always going to be resistance to get to the next place. You want to do anything in your life, you're going to face resistance, because that resistance is what opens you up to realizing you can't do it on your own, that there's a more powerful force in the world than you.
What makes you so special that you think that you're going to be able to accomplish what they've accomplished without going through that process? In fact, that's pretty arrogant, isn't it? You think you're so special that you get to skip all the hard parts and the universe is just going to line up for you and everything's going to be easy?
Just means you've made a temporary tactical retreat. It means you've made a brief withdrawal so that you can regroup and reattack. As far as I'm concerned, if you get beat, unless you're dead, you are not defeated and you have not failed. What you've done is you've learned, you've gained experience, and you're still alive, and you have memories to make. So get up and go get after it.
Why do we do what we do, and where is it taking us? Like, what's the GPS that's on the end of our decisions and our choices every single day? Like, when the clock stops, when it's all said and done, like, what would they say about us?
You can set yourself a goal that you can attain, and there's not going to be much glory in it to begin with. Because if you're not in very good shape, the goal that you could attain tomorrow isn't very glorious. But it's a hell of a lot better than nothing, and it beats the hell out of bitterness, and it's way better than blaming someone else. It's way less dangerous, and you could do it.
You're going to make a lot of mistakes bringing that to the surface. Those mistakes are steps to where you're going. But if you think that you're going to enjoy great success and it's just one win after another, you're kidding yourself. It just doesn't happen. I don't even know anyone that's pulled that kind of a deal off.
There's a statement in the New Testament. It's called the Matthew Principle, and economists use it to describe how the economy in the world works. To those who have everything, more will be given. From those who have nothing, everything will be taken. It's like what's very pessimistic in some sense, because it means that as you start to fail, you fail more and more rapidly. But it also means that as you start to succeed, you succeed more and more rapidly. And so you take an incremental step, and well, now you can lift 55 pounds instead of 52.5 pounds. You think, well, what the hell's that? It's like, it's one step on a very long journey. And so it starts to compound on you. So a small step today puts you in a position to take a slightly bigger step the next day. And then that puts you in a position to take a slightly bigger step the next day. And you do that for 2 or 3 years, man, you're starting to stride.
How do you silence the noise? You silence the noise by accepting what reality is. It has nothing to do with those people. It has everything to do with your actions. And if you're smart, you will take that negativity and you will draw the energy out of it, and you will let that propel you with productive action.
When you climb to a new level in your life, you do face new devils, new challenges, and that's okay, as long as you know they're coming. I want you to know that fighting off those new devils is worth it, and you become stronger every single time you do it. Anytime you knock the devil out and anything in your life, you become stronger. And the other thing that happens is your conclusion is that there must be a God more powerful than whatever this force is that's up against me.
People ask me all the time, what does it take to be happy? And I always tell them it's really simple. One word, progress. Progress equals happiness. If you keep growing you're going to feel alive. And if you keep growing, you're going to have more to give. And when you're growing and giving is when life is magnificent. Your mind, your emotions, your body. You have 100% control over what you do with these things. And that's where the game is won.
It's irrelevant what other people say. And once you come to understand that, the noise quiets. If you can understand that it is irrelevant what people gossip, it is irrelevant what they say, it is irrelevant if they laugh, it is irrelevant if they doubt you, it is irrelevant if they talk shit, and you understand that the only thing is relevant is what you do, you're going to succeed.
The saddest thing is not the death of the body, but it is the death of all the dreams. We've got to do what's inside of us. Do the thing, and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Don't wait. Start right now, whether you're ready or not. Just say, I'm going after it, I'm going to get it, and your present circumstance has got nothing to do with where you're going.
Anyone who is incredibly successful has failed more than other people. You just don't see it because they got back up so fast and they learned from it. The other part is you also have to know that success is buried on the other side of failure. It's buried on the other side of frustration. It's buried on the other side of conflict. And so you have to see this as part of the natural evolution.
You think that you get to skip all the parts where everybody laughs at you and everybody makes fun of you and everybody says that you're stupid and crazy and never going to be able to do it? The shit you want to become, the life you're trying to build, that's the price you're going to pay. And everybody's paid it. Fucking everybody. Everybody you look up to has paid that price. What makes you think you're not going to have to pay it?
If you don't see results in the first 2 days or the first week, I'm done. That's the mentality of most people. The struggle is too real. We're not patient. And for you to lose weight, for you to stop drinking, whatever the hell you're going through, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of pitfalls, a lot of plateaus. You're gonna hit so many fucking plateaus. If you don't know how to get around that plateau, it's not gonna happen fast.
Your circumstances may be uncongenial right now, but they will not long remain so if you perceive an ideal and strive to reach it.
We're gonna have wins, we're gonna have losses. We're gonna have successes, we're gonna have failures. We're gonna have good nights, we're gonna have bad nights. We're gonna have good relationships, we're gonna have bad relationships. We're gonna have good ideas and bad ideas. We're gonna make money, we're gonna lose money. All these things are gonna happen. And if you oscillate emotionally up and down drastically, it's gonna be problematic. So finding a good, stable, centered way to be and look at the world and take everything that you see with a little bit of a grain of salt and don't get swayed too drastically in one direction or the other, you're going to be okay.
You cannot have innovation or progress without failure. It doesn't exist. And if you truly aren't failing as you're trying to innovate, then you're probably not pushing very hard because you haven't broken anything. You're making very, very safe choices. We could never have put a person on the moon without a bunch of rockets blowing up first. Like, of course.
If you've got a goal and you're willing to stick to it and study the laws, you're going to find out that you can win. Way down deep inside of you is a dream. And every now and then that dream floats to the surface of your conscious mind. And when it does, you quickly push it out and you say, I can't do that. Now the truth is you can, you just don't know how.
The bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything because what did you overcome?
So when you think about the average life expectancy is 77. Average person retires around 67. So the average person works somewhere around 50 years to be free for 11. That's a raw deal. I just want one thing from people. People don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. Like the passion that they first had when they said, man, I'm with you. I'm gonna give you everything I got. Whether that be sports, whether that be business, whether that be a family, right? The drive that they have when they first start something, then life comes knocking, and they say, man, I'm gonna stay committed to it, right? I'm gonna be a better person. It's like at the beginning of every year, right? What do people have? Resolution. Then late February, you see them with the cupcakes, and you're like, man, what happened to that resolution? They're like, man, bump that.
But if you believe that you're good at what you do, and you strive to be good at what you do, you don't need to worry about what other people think. You need to be able to understand that you have your own confidence that you can do whatever it is you're required to do, and other people will see that confidence in you.
There are moments that crystallizes it for you in your mind. Pay attention and you'll see what they are. Yeah. And you'll know what to do accordingly. Yeah. Don't be scared to leave. Don't be scared to bet on yourself. You're going to be scared anyway, because it is scary. But at the same time, Betting on yourself isn't always leaving. Betting on yourself is believing in you. Knowing who you are, what you're worth. Having an idea about it anyway. And willing to work towards that, to validate that reality. That's betting on yourself. Right. Whatever decision emanates from that is based off of you looking at you and saying, I'm going for it.
If you can learn a lesson when you make the mistake and not make the mistake twice, and you're gritty enough to not quit, you have what it takes to succeed, but it's going to take time and it's going to be hard. And you're not going to live the same life as all of your friends and all of your family, and they're not going to understand it. And they're going to criticize you and they're going to laugh at you and they're going to make jokes about it because that's not the path that they are on.
The minute you start doubting yourself, other people will see that you're doubting yourself, and that becomes a weakness in your personality. So you always want to be confident in everything you do, that you can do it, you can get it done, you'll find a way to get it done.
If I could go back, I'd tell younger me, you're going to do some pretty great things, but you do not need to be great. All you have to do is be yourself. That will always be enough.
They're going to talk to you about things like balance. So it's very difficult in the beginning for a young person to go down the path, because once they step into that path, they meet resistance from literally everywhere they go. They're meeting resistance from their friends, their family. They're getting made fun of on the internet. They're being asked, like, are you sure? Are you sure? And they're being told, don't forget where you came from, man. Don't forget to be humble. You know, you're getting a little too materialistic. You know, you're getting a little greedy there.
Work like hell. Trust yourself. Break some rules. Don't be afraid to fail. Ignore the naysayers and stay hungry.
The consistency of work. Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, you know, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
You know, you always get this talk about, well, you made the best decision you could with the information that you had at the time. And it kind of sounds like a cop-out in a way, but it's actually not a cop-out at all. You make the best decision that you can with the information that you have at the time. Like, what more can a human being do to make the best decision they can with the information that they had at the time? And when you get more information, or when the results come as they may, that decision that you made might not have been a good decision. It might have been a bad decision. But there's number one, there's nothing you can do to change it. Like, it already happened. You made the decision.
Most people are familiar with the reframing. Reframing is you came up with a meaning and it's not so good, and so now you're going to change it, or you want to do it with someone else. You're going to influence someone and they have this negative frame and you're going to reframe them. That's a lot harder than pre-framing.
You grow in proportion to the weight you take on voluntarily. And it's also true that we have no idea what the upper limit to that is. People can do remarkable things, and there are inevitably people who took on remarkable burdens. And because they did that, their development was forced by necessity. They were forced by necessity to grow beyond what they were. And who knows what the limit to that is?
You get to decide who you are. The things that dictate our lives are our beliefs. Your life is as good as you believe it's going to be. I think a 95% of life is how you look at it, and 5% is what happens to you. So the idea that you go, what are you going to believe? Well, most of our beliefs, the beliefs that really affect us, are the presuppositions that we make. We don't even think about them. We just think it's, I'm not the kind of person that does that. And then you allow yourself at some stage, you go, well, fuck that. I'm going to allow myself to dream, or to try and be more than.
Railing against how hard something is, or how much time it's taking up, or the difficulty, or the inefficiency, or the fact that you don't know how to do it, or the fact that you don't have a high that can sort it, or the fact that people around you don't believe you, or that no one's giving you the support that you want, or that you thought it wouldn't take this long. The fact that that is happening is par for the course. It is the price of doing business. It's the cost of entry for whatever the thing is that you're going about, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be happening. And so much of the pain, as far as I can see, is you railing against the fact that there are difficulties.
I think that's a lot of the discontent that people suffer from, is they want two things that are polar opposites. They want the really strong character. They want the easy life. Like, one is the price of the other. You have a hard life to have great character. You have an easy life. You have shitty character. Everything came easy. You want to grow. You don't want hardship. Hardship creates growth. And so they want both, and you can't, like, it's wanting the Jordans without paying the price. They're and the price isn't bad. It's just the price is what it is. And so it's just, do you want the Jordans or not? And if you do, then don't lament the price tag. Pay the price tag and be happy you have the Jordans. And if you don't want the Jordans, then don't buy them.
You're not as far away from these dreams as you think you are. But because you think it's so far away, you behave in accordance with that belief system, and it always keeps it that far away from you. First thing is, you need to believe and know that you're one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one book, one thought, one something away from a completely different life. And when you know that, then you begin to look for them.
It was a lot of tough competition. I'm just a story like everybody else. I always said we play for the name on the front of our jersey was the Patriots or the Bucks, and I played for the name on the back of the jersey, which was my family and the people that encouraged me. I was so blessed to have this discipline over a really long period of time. I never once in my life ever said I wanted to be the best of all time. Ever.
Well, it happens small until it happens big. Tiny little things repeated over time is what produces dramatic change. And it's like this curve, it's like this very slow curve until it asymptotes up. And when you drill that down into the tiniest little things that you're doing every single day and try to repeat that with just rigorous, relentless consistency, that is how you move mountains. That's how you build mountains. That's how you change your life.
You have to work hard. Everybody in this room knows if it's worth something to you, you got to put in the effort. And I always like to say it's the work we put in when nobody's watching that really matters.
You're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
It is absolutely your duty to become what it is you were meant to become that version of you that lives deep inside your heart, that only you know about, that you are too afraid to even tell people about because you think you're gonna get laughed at. That version of you is who you were born to be.
I wanted to be the best I could be. Period. And I said, be proud of the man in the glass. Be proud of that man that wakes up every day and does the best that he could do with his priorities, and a lot of things happen in our life. We all face our challenges and adversities, and we all go through things. And I think life is about dealing with a lot of things that you didn't want to have happen in your life, whether it's your business or whether it's sports or whether it's personal or, children. And like I said, we all have our unique challenges, but do the best you can do. Show up every day and make the commitment to yourself and the people that count on you, the people that you support you. And through a lot of failures, you're gonna learn a lot, and you're gonna hopefully be humbled, because sometimes, you give your best and it doesn't work.
Because a lot of times you go down the road and, there's the phrase, you have to walk by faith and not by sight. A lot of times you walk by faith, not sight nor experience. And you just don't know. So you gotta have that faith. The faith is the thing for one of the many things that can anchor us and that should anchor us.
Personal winters when your heart is smashed in 1,000 pieces and the nights are unusually long. It is simply called winter time. But here's what you've got to do in your own personal development, your own personal growth, and that is just get better at handling the winters. You can't change the winter, you can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. You say, well, what can I do about the upcoming winters of my life, the challenges that I know I'm going to face? Here's what you can do. You can get wiser and stronger and better.
Hey, it's gonna take everything you got. It's gonna take way longer than you think. You're gonna lose all your fucking friends along the way. Yeah, you're gonna make new friends, but you're gonna spend a lot of time alone. You're gonna be stressed, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be frustrated, you're gonna be angry, you're gonna get bitter sometimes. You're gonna wanna quit every motherfucking day. How do you sell that to someone? That's a hard sale.
And I learned that in sports, and you learn it in life in different ways too. Sometimes you do what you do, you try your best, you work hard, but it just doesn't in the end go the way you want. So what are you gonna do, quit? You're gonna just blame everyone else? You're gonna go in there and blame the guy next door and blame that person and blame the dog and go out there and sleep until 10 o'clock? Or are you gonna get out of bed, wake up and go do something about it?
The solution to your problem is not gonna be found in the problem. It's not gonna be found in there. You have to get out of the problem so that you can look at it, make an assessment, and you can assess how to solve the problem or whether you need to solve the problem or not.
Always be willing to be stronger than your strongest excuse. And also, always be willing to extend a level of grace to others and yourself. I think one of the toughest things for us as people in terms of the realm of forgiveness is sometimes forgiving ourselves.
But one of the main reasons that people don't get what they want is because they don't actually figure out what it is. And the probability that you're going to get what would be good for you, let's say, which would even be better than what you want, right? Because, you know, you might be wrong about what you want easily. But maybe you could get what would really be good for you. Well, why don't you? Well, because you don't try.
Because when you look around at your life and you look around at your job and your financial situation and your relationship and your physical health, and when you look at all those things and all the problems that you may have with those things, and you say, the reason I have all those problems is because of me, that can hurt. That can sting.
We don't experience life. We experience life we focus on. Meaning there's what's wrong is always available, so is what's right. Whatever you focus on, you feel, even if it's not true. If you imagine something horrible is going to happen, you feel it. You're in your body, right? So focus equals feeling. Focus equals reality to the individual. You know, it's a reality in actuality.
You don't think, okay, here's what I would like if I could have it. Imagine that you were taking care of yourself like you were someone you actually cared for. And then you thought, okay, I'm caring for this person. I would like things to go as well for them as possible. What would their life have to be like in order for that to be the case? Well, people don't do that. They don't sit down and think, all right, you know, let's figure it out. You've got a life. It's hard, obviously. It's like 3 years from now, you can have what you need.
There's a lot of dream killers out there. Some come with the best of intentions. Others, by design, are designed to kill your dreams and to suffocate your ambition. You know what you're meant to do. You know what you desire to do. You know what your purpose and your meaning is going to be in life. Like you can sense it. You can feel the gnawing of greatness in you, right? And you know that you have to elevate to the 2.0 version to get there, but there is risk involved, that you have to fear, you have to face the fear and doubt and uncertainty, and you have to go against some of the things that the people that you love and respect say.
We decide every moment we're deciding what to focus on, but most of us don't decide consciously. It's based on habit. But we can consciously choose what to focus on. When we decide what to focus on, our brain has to come up with a meaning, like we said, the end or the beginning, loving me or dissing me, whatever the case may be. And that affects your emotions, which decides the third decision, what am I going to do?
So I think to me, the only way really was, in order to be happy, is to create my own world and to visualize. You know, that's why people sometimes read a lot, because they want to escape into another story, or the day they watch movies to go and to see another, to escape into another story and all this stuff. For me, that wasn't available.
There's a great Chinese expression, a great old proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything for me. And you know what? Much to your surprise, I took that counselor's advice. I took it and I used it to be the best basketball player I could be. His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it.